Hello, my name is Amy Harris. I'm the Reference and Instruction Librarian here at Southeastern University, and I want you to know that I'm the librarian that you can come to when you need help with your online classes. Today we're going to talk about some great library resources, including MyFire, which is where you get your online course information. From MyFire, we're going to go into the LibGuides, and this has everything you need to write a paper. So scholarly journal articles, there are books, both paper and electronic, and citation styles, APA, MLA, or Turabian. So get out a pen and paper, take notes, and enjoy the video. We're going to start with myfire.seu.edu. This is where you're already accessing your online courses, but you probably didn't know that you can find library resources there as well. You're going to log in with your Southeastern username and password. Luckily for you, this username and password will get you into a lot of different places. Now, we're on the SEU online site. When we scroll down, there's a box with school resources. This is great because it provides easy access to the Steelman Library. When you click on this, you're taken to libguides.seu.edu. I highly recommend that you bookmark the site because you'll be needing it for every research paper that you have to write. Very important site. Now we're going to search for books first. In the middle box, we can just type in whatever our search terms are. In this case, I'm going to do religion and culture. This is a pretty general search. The word "and" tells the computer I want both the word religion and culture, but they can be in any order. We've been given a results list of 40,406 items that match our search. I bet you weren't expecting that. Now, really, that's way too many for what we want to do. We need to narrow down our search so that's more specific to our topic. There are some different ways we can do that. First of all, we can narrow it down to just books. That takes it to just 2,174. Not too bad. If we put "and Christianity" and then click search, it's really going to narrow down our search terms, especially when we click just books. So we have 678. This is still a lot, so please don't just pick the first three, but it will allow you to at least have just the books that you want. Now, this first book is a paper book. How do I know that? Because it has this link, availability. When I click on availability, it tells me that this book lives in the Steelman Library on the second floor. Unfortunately, if you're a distance student, you can't come to campus to get it. The good news is that we will send it to you free of charge. We'll also send you the return postage, so it doesn't cost you anything to send it back. Just please do send it back, okay? So that's how you can get a paper book from the library. Now I'm sure you're thinking, how do I get this from the library? Just copy this information and then go to your email and put in circ@seu.edu. I'm going to change my book information here, but please write them a nice note. Please send me this book. Put in the information. I do need your address, your student ID number, and your phone number. This just gives us different ways to contact you, to let you know if the book is coming or not. And we want to make sure that we have your student ID so that you're in the system. So you would just send that off and we will send you the book. Now, sometimes if we procrastinated, we may not want to wait for a book to be sent to us. That's okay. When we look at the second book, it says View Now rather than Availability. When we click on View Now, it tells us this is an electronic book that's accessible through the internet. So we're going to click on Bibliographic Record Display. You may be prompted for your Southeastern username and password. Anytime you are given this screen, it's because you need to verify yourself as a Southeastern student. Merely enter your Southeastern email, username, and password, and it will let you into the databases. Once you've logged in and the system has shown that you are a Southeastern student, it will take you to this item. Now it happens that this electronic book is within EBSCO, one of our databases. On the left-hand side, you can see that you can get the ebook, full text. So you could read the whole book on your computer if you wanted to. I don't really recommend that. It's not good for your eyes, and probably you're not really wanting to read the whole book. You want to be looking for a specific part of that topic. So you want to pick the chapter that looks best to you. So rather than read the whole book, if you're doing your paper on the First Amendment and how that relates to religion and culture, you can just click on Chapter 3 and then read Chapter 3. This allows you to just read the part of the book that's pertaining to your paper, not have to read the whole thing. Notice here on the right-hand side we've got some icons that can be very useful. You can save this. You can email this to yourself. There is a yellow folder here. Do not use the yellow folder, okay? The yellow gold page right there will cite this book for you. Now, the computer is only as good as the information it's given, okay? So it will try and do the reference, here's APA, as well as it can, but it's important that you take a look at this and make sure that everything's done correctly as far as the author's name, the title, and how it's capitalized, and so on. If you're using Turabian, please ask your professor if they want the author date style or the humanities style. And if you're using MLA, you'll just keep going, and here's the MLA citation. All right, so very easy to get help with the citation. It's just you need to go and correct it if there are any mistakes. So that's how we find ebooks. Not hard, is it? All right, we're going back to LibGuides because now we want to look for journal articles. And again, we've made this pretty easy. It's the first link. It's going to ask you what subject or topic are you focusing on, so it can give you the correct databases. We're going to pick religion, and we're going to start with Atlas Serials. ATLA is unique in that it will allow you to do a scripture search for a specific passage in the Bible. Not all the databases do this, but it's a very nice feature. Now we're going to go to Psalms and click Expand because we don't want all the articles on Psalms. We just want to see the articles for Psalm 23 for the sake of example. When we click on this, it gives us all the articles that relate to Psalm 23. Now, 121 is still too many articles. The best way to narrow this down is to click on the Limit to Full Text. This means you're only getting the articles that are entirely on the computer. So again, you won't have to go to the library to get these. And you want to click on Scholarly Peer-Reviewed Journals. This means that we're throwing out things like Time, Newsweek, People magazine, because we really are not interested in what they have to say about Psalm 23. We want to see what the experts have to say about it. So now we're down to 17 articles. That's very doable. Don't just pick the first 3. Pick the ones that seem to best match where you want to go with your paper and the topic. We click PDF full text to get the entire article. And as we've already seen, the whole thing is right there. We can use the icons at the right to print, to email it to ourselves. Remember not to use the yellow folder. And the gold piece of paper will cite it for us. Again, you want to make sure that you double check the spelling and capitalization so that it's right. Okay, now we've done a scripture search, and that's great. But maybe we have a topic we're doing that is not related to a specific scripture, but to a specific topic. Then I recommend that you go to EBSCO Academic Search Complete. Now we've already seen the ebook in EBSCO, so this will look very similar to you in that you're still going to have the same search box and things that we've had earlier. The difference here is that we want to choose all the databases. So click on Choose Databases and click on Select All. What this does is it lets us search everything all at once. It's a done deal. We do not have scripture search up here because only ATLA does that. We're clicking full text and scholarly peer-reviewed journals, so we throw out the junk. And then we're going to put religion and culture and click search. Now you can see that we found 31,000 articles. Again, this is way too many. We need to narrow this down. Some different ways that we can do this is by going under subject and seeing, okay, is there something here that looks like a good way to narrow it down? You can open this up and notice here we have Christianity and culture. So instead of having 31,000, we can get down to 300. Okay, that's not great, but it's better. Again, you want to look through these, pick out the ones that seem to be closest to your topic, and then click on PDF full text, and it's going to give you the entire journal article exactly as it appeared in the original journal. We have our printer, our email, don't use the yellow folder, and the gold piece of paper to cite our article. This is great. A nice, easy way to find journal articles without leaving home. All right, eventually you have to actually write the paper, right? So this involves citation styles. We've created a guide that has MLA, APA, and Turabian help on it. What's great about these guides is that they're specific to Southeastern. Here we have the class presentation I gave to our traditional students. So it's the PowerPoint in a printed form. You can print it out if you want. And this is the exact same information that traditional students would receive. We also have this with the APA and Turabian, where you can just download the handout. We also have a video that will show you how to use Word to do the citation style that you're working on. Now, sometimes we need more help than this. Citing can be kind of tricky, especially with electronic resources. If you're not sure, ask a librarian. Over here on the right, you'll see the box with live chat and email. Live chat allows you to chat online with a Florida librarian. I'm on Tuesday mornings. The rest of the time you'll get someone in Florida, but don't worry about that because they know the different citation styles and they know how to use our databases. All you have to do is click on the button and then fill in your name, your email address, and give a very detailed question. The reason we ask for an email address is so that if you get cut off during the session, the librarian can still email you the answer. And then you would just click Chat Now, and it would start up the chat with the librarian. Now, if it happens to be 2 in the morning, because I know some students work best in the wee hours, then the live chat's closed, but you can send me an email, and this does come directly to me. So put your name, your email address, subject, and very detailed question so I know exactly what it is that you're trying to find the answer to. And this will come to me, and when I come in at 8 in the morning, you'll be first on my list of questions to answer, and then you can have a response in 24 hours. All right, so that's how you get help from a librarian, even if you're not in the library. All right, now I hope this has helped you. There are other helps here down at the bottom. We've really provided a lot of information in the LibGuide, so I hope that you'll take advantage of that. Hi, it's Amy Harris again, and today in this video we're going to talk about Zotero. I just wanted to say hi to you and say that I hope this really becomes a good time saver for you. Watch carefully, and it's really going to help you with your papers. I'm going to turn the webcam off now so you can focus on the screen. All right, now you'll notice that we're back at the LibGuides because everything you need for research and writing a paper is on the LibGuides, right? So we've looked at how to find database, journal articles, how to find books, how to look at citation styles and do them correctly. Zotero has its own LibGuide, and I want to thank Jason Puckett at Georgia State University for letting us use his guide. This is actually his, and we're just borrowing it. Librarians love to borrow. And so this has tabs for different parts of installing Zotero. How do you save citations, create bibliographies, etc. Please read through these. I know that students don't like to do that, but all your answers are there. I'm going to quickly run you through the process, but you're going to hit problems when you install it. That's just part of the learning process. So come back here to get your answers. All right, very important is we want to actually download it, right? So we're going to go to installing the standalone, just because that happens to be the one that I use. All right. And Zotero 4.0 is available, so it's up to the new version. What's nice about this is when you go in this way, you're not going to be taken to a website that's going to try and give you viruses. Okay, this is the real Zotero site, and it really does work. So we're going to download the setup file, okay, and that may take a few seconds depending on how fast your internet is at home. You also want to download the browser extensions for whatever browsers you use. Now, I tend to use Firefox or Chrome, but there's also Safari for Mac here, so you would want to download those. And when you do that, it's going to bring up this window. Do you want to allow this? And we say yes, allow it. Then we're going to install it. And it will prompt you to restart. You should restart. Okay, I recommend it. Not in the middle of this video. But right now I'm going to tell it no because I've already really got this installed. So I'm just showing you kind of how it would work. When you click on the Zotero setup file, then it's going to actually put Zotero on your computer unless you've chosen the USB version. So you'll see it's extracting. Do we want to allow this? We say yes. And then it takes us to the wizard. Just do a standard setup. Let it go wherever it wants to go. Don't mess with where the files go, or that will cause you great grief. It's going to go through this. It should go pretty quickly since I already have it. And then it says launch Zotero now. So we click finish, and it's going to launch Zotero. Now when you get it, all 3 columns are going to be blank. Okay, you're not going to have anything in them. I have stuff in them because I've been working with this for several years. What I like to do is create a folder for each class that I'm doing. So I can create a folder, and I'm just going to call this one a test. And I would do this for each assignment that you have. It just helps you keep your sources more organized. All right, so now I have an empty folder, and you're probably going, okay, what do we do now? Well, now we go search the databases, okay? So we're going to go back to the library databases, and we're going to choose EBSCO again, like we did in some of the previous videos. I'm not going to choose all the databases because we really just want to get in here and see how Zotero works. That's the main thing, right? So I'm going to put in Christianity and culture. And I'm going to tell it that I want full text, scholarly, peer-reviewed, and I click search. All right, so we got 400 and 316, and that's a lot. Okay, what is great is that up here in the address bar, do you see this folder? This yellow folder is good. Okay, it says save to Zotero. We're going to click that, and Zotero is so smart. It says, look, I see that you have 10 articles on this one screen. Would you like me to save all those? Well, why not? So I click select all. Now I can uncheck this one in Spanish because I'm not fluent enough in Spanish to read that one and really get anything out of it. But then you'll see here on the right hand side, saving to, and a test is the name of the folder. So it's saving each one of these articles, including the full text PDF from EBSCO. So even if you don't have internet later on, you can still open up Zotero, read your articles, and do work on them. It's so cool. All right, so in just one shot, one click of the folder, we have these 9 resources. This is really great. So when we click on an arrow next to a title, you'll see that EBSCO full text is right there. Double click on EBSCO full text and it will pull it up in this reader. Now what's awesome about this is that you can take some notes, do some editing on this. All right, so this is a great way to read your articles, make notes, and all that gets saved into EBSCO. Now we're going to, just for the sake of example, pull out a quote. Okay, so we're going to talk about the concept of culture. Okay, so I'm going to open up Zotero. It's really open, I'm just bringing it up. And when I click on the title of the article, you can see we have the info box. One of the first things you should do is check and make sure, is this correct for APA formatting? Okay, because the Zotero can only do its best with what information EBSCO gives it, and sometimes it's not good. Okay, so in APA we wouldn't have all these big words capitalized, so we would take those out unless it is either a proper name, or here faith is capitalized because it comes after a colon. Okay, so we put that in there, we need our period, and we fix that. Another thing that you should fix if you're doing APA is this issue number. Just delete it out. You won't need it because of continuous pagination. If you don't understand that, that's okay. Send me an email. I'll explain it. Okay, notice that we are also missing a DOI. So students that are doing APA would need to go find that DOI. That's another video. All right, so we've got our info right. Now we want to take some notes as we read our articles, right? Okay, so let's say that as I'm reading this, I'm going, okay, I want to use this quote. This is page 215, so that makes this page 214, and I want to use the concept of culture. Now I realize that's not a great quote. I'm just using it for the sake of example. So on 124, I'm putting a concept, a concept of culture. Okay, now you'll notice it already shows up here underneath our article, and you would do this for all of them so that when you opened them up, they would all have the EBSCO full text, and they would all have notes underneath them where you've read them and taken some notes. Now we're going to open up Word. When you installed the plugins for your different browsers, it should have allowed you to it should have already put the add-ins into Word for you. Okay, so what I have here is just a paper that I've kind of made up for the sake of example. You wouldn't need an author note or an abstract probably unless your professor tells you that. Okay, so what I want to do is where I would normally be writing, eventually you're going to have to cite, right? So we're going to cite this pretending that we've put in our direct quote, right? So when we click on this first icon, that opens up Zotero. We want to look at the classic view. I just find that's easier for students to use. You can see, okay, which note is it that I want to use? So we're going to use this quote, a concept of culture, and we need to do that in text citation. So I click on the article that we're citing, and notice since I have the page number right here, I know, okay, I need to put page 124 right in this box. And I click OK, and notice we have the author, the year, and the page number. All right, and so then you would just continue to do this as you are adding sources to your paper. All right, so this one I haven't actually pulled a quote, but we're going to pretend I have. So we're going to put page 155. Maybe we've got a quote from that. Okay, so you can see that it's put the author, the year, the page number right there. Is that awesome or what? Okay, and you would just keep doing that as we go through here. Now, this person has actually put some tables, graphs, etc. here. And notice we didn't even have to press anything. But what you usually do is you would press this button with all the lines. Just ignore that. You won't get that error message. But when you do that, then it puts all your sources in alphabetical order by author. Notice here's the DOI for APA students that need that. And it's all right there. If you need to make any corrections, say in the title, or you need to take out the issue number over here, you want to do that in Zotero, and change it in the info box. And that's why I like to have this classic view up, is because you can change whatever you need to right here. So we would do that. We'd make the changes there, and then we'd just go back to Zotero and say, okay, redo the bibliography for me. It would redo it, and then it would be correct. You can see where we corrected this one. It is in all lowercase like it's supposed to be. So that's how Zotero does your in-text citations, your references, or your works cited page, and it also just keeps track of all your articles and your notes. And I just don't know of any better way, especially a free way, for you to do your research and then do your papers. I highly recommend Zotero when you have problems or questions, which you know you will. Then you're going to go back to where? Yes, the LibGuides, okay? And go to the Zotero guide. I hope this has been a blessing, and I hope to speak with you soon.